Aljazeera International, our voice in the world.
This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
In today's top stories, here in Algiers, in a meeting, Algeria, Tunisia and Egypt have reaffirmed the importance of the principle of ownership and conduct of the political process in Libya by the Libyan brothers and urged all Libyan parties to place the higher interests of their country above all other considerations. The people of Western Sahara today remember a black page in their history, the beginning of the Moroccan occupation of their territories, what is called by the Sahrawis the Black March, which took place on the 6th of November 1975. The A3+ group in the Security Council, including Algeria, called in New York for all parties in Sudan to respect the demilitarized status of the Abyei region. Hello and welcome to Radio Algeria International. I'm Jamal Smani. The ministerial meeting of the tripartite neighbouring countries mechanism on the crisis in Libya was concluded with the adoption of a joint communique which reaffirmed the importance of the principle of ownership and conduct of the political process in Libya by the Libyan brothers and urged all Libyan parties to place the higher interest of the country above all other considerations, to end divisions, unify political and military institutions, and organize legislative and presidential elections. The meeting was attended by the Minister of State in charge of Foreign Affairs, the National Community Abroad and African Affairs, Mr. Ahmed Attaf, the Egyptian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Badr Abdelati, and the Tunisian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Mohammed Ali Nafti. A joint communique reaffirmed the position of the three countries rejecting any form of foreign interference in Libyan internal affairs, calling for the withdrawal of mercenaries and foreign fighters from Libyan territory. The joint communique also commended the role and efforts of Algeria in the United Nations Security Council to highlight the responsibility of the international community to preserve the resources of the Libyan people and ensure the proper management of their frozen financial assets. The Tunisian Minister Mohammed Ali Nafti has reaffirmed in a statement to the press here in Algiers, following a meeting with the President of the Republic, the commitment of the Tunisian authorities to continue coordination and permanent consultation with Algeria in the best interest of the two brotherly peoples and in order to strengthen security, stability and development in the region. The Tunisian minister said that his meeting held as part of his participation in the tripartite meeting of the neighboring countries of Libya, which brought together Algeria, Tunisia and Egypt, had allowed him to convey to the President the greetings of his brother Tunisian President Kais Saied, expressing the deep pride of Tunisia as to the strong fraternal relations that unite the two countries.
ولقد نقلت بهذه المناسبة السعيدة إلى فخامة الرئيس عبد المجيد تبون.
On this pleasant occasion, I convey to His Excellency President Abdelmajid Tebboune the greetings of his brother, His Excellency President Kais Saied, emphasizing Tunisia's deep pride in the strong fraternal relations that unite our two countries. The meeting with His Excellency President Abdelmajid Tebboune confirmed the convergence of views with President Kais Saied, particularly with regard to the Libyan issue concerning the need for our sister nation Libya remain on the sidelines of regional and international conflicts and adopt a purely Libyan national approach to finding a lasting solution throughout Libya, as well as the importance of the tripartite consultation mechanism between neighboring countries, which would allow for the coordination of positions and an active contribution to the consolidation of stability and the acceleration of the pace of the Libyan political solution under the auspices of the United Nations.
Now, the Egyptian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Badr Abdelati, has hailed Algeria's role and support for joint Arab and African action, as well as its position in favor of the rights of the brotherly Palestinian people. In a statement to the press following the meeting with the President of the Republic, the Egyptian minister said that he had transmitted to the President of the Republic the greetings by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, affirming that there is a convergence of views as well as a mutual desire to strengthen bilateral cooperation relations in various fields in the interest of the two brotherly peoples.
مثل اللقاء فرصة مهمة للغاية.
The meeting represented a valuable opportunity to reaffirm the depth and strength of the fraternal and historic relations that unite our two brotherly countries. Naturally, the meeting reflected the complete agreement between His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and His Excellency President Abdelmajid Tebboune on their visions and positions, as well as their mutual commitment to strengthening bilateral cooperation in various fields for the benefit of our two brotherly peoples. During the meeting, I also discussed with His Excellency the preparations for the 9th session of the Joint High Committee chaired by the Prime Ministers of both countries to be held in Cairo from 23rd to 26th November. This upcoming session of the Joint High Committee represents a new step towards strengthening and deepening bilateral relations, especially in this area. In the economic, trade and investment field, the renaissance experienced by our sister country Algeria, led by His Excellency President Abdelmajid Tebboune, offers promising opportunities and possibilities.
فرص وإمكانيات واعدة.
The Egyptian official also said that he had informed the president of Egypt's readiness to host a conference for the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. Now, the Minister of Labour, Abdelhak Saihi, has affirmed in Doha, Qatar, Algeria's firm commitment for an inclusive development based on justice and solidarity. During his participation in the second high-level roundtable held in the framework of the Second World Summit for Social Development, which ended in Doha, Qatar, Abdelhak Saihi delivered a speech on behalf of the President of the Republic, during which he affirmed that Algeria's participation in this summit comes in order to renew its strong commitment to the principles of solidarity and equity and achieve its vision of equitable, inclusive development within the framework of the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. He stressed that Algeria had implemented deep institutional, economic and social reforms aimed at strengthening social justice and achieving a sustainable and inclusive growth, highlighting the efforts made in several areas, notably through the adoption of a comprehensive approach based on solidarity and direct social assistance. The people of Western Sahara today remember a black page in their history, the beginning of the Moroccan occupation of their territories that is called by the Sahrawis the Black March, which took place on the 6th of November 1975. Still with our African news, the A3 group in the Security Council, including Algeria, Somalia, Sierra Leone and Guyana, called in New York for all parties in Sudan to respect the demilitarized status of the Abyei region. On behalf of the group at the Security Council meeting on the status of this border region between Sudan and South Sudan, the permanent representative of Guyana, Caroline Rodriguez, called on all parties to facilitate the work of the UN force deployed in the region.
Mr. President, the war in the Sudan and the continued influx of people displaced by the conflict continues to create economic hardship for the population of Abyei. UNISFA has worked to facilitate the activities of humanitarian partners who continue to deliver support to those in need, including interventions targeting high levels of acute malnutrition among children. Funding challenges have had an impact on partners' capacity for humanitarian support. Indeed, the Food and Agriculture Organization was forced to cease its operations in Abyei at the end of July, and the World Food Programme has reduced its footprint.
The group considered it was essential to resume meetings on the Joint Political and Security Mechanism in the Joint Abe Oversight Committee. Furthermore, the group considers it urgent to deploy concrete or concerted efforts to improve the humanitarian situation in this region, where the number of displaced persons continues to rise. The situation is exacerbated by the spread of contagious diseases such as cholera. The A3 Plus also asserted that the African Union is likely to play a vital role alongside the UN in bringing about stability and peace in the Abe region. Now, the Director General of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, has announced that a famine is raging in the Sudanese town of Al-Fasher, warning against the risk of spread to other parts of the country and to neighboring South Sudan. The information was posted by Ghebreyesus on social media based on the latest reports of the UN Integrated System of Food Safety Classification. Said Bourati has more details.
According to reports, about 50 million people in Sudan, South Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of Congo are threatened with famine and are worried about how to feed their families, said the WHO chief. He added that famine has been confirmed in some parts of Sudan, El Fasher, and Kadugli, and there is a risk that famine will affect other parts of the country and South Sudan. He called for a significant increase in food aid to Sudan, emphasizing that the World Health Organization, with the support of its partners, strives to reach all people in need of medical care. At the end of October, the Rapid Support Forces RSF seized the city of El Fasher, the capital of the western state of North Darfur, and committed massacres against civilians, according to local and international organizations. The Rapid Support Forces currently controls the 5 states in the Darfur region in the west, with the exception of parts in the north of the state of North Darfur, which are still under the control of the army, notably the provinces of Karnoy, Ambro, and Atina.
The United Nations Food or World Food Programme has warned that the severe food insecurity in South Sudan could worsen between April and July 2026, threatening that 7.56 million people, or more half of the population. During the Security Council meeting on the situation in the Middle East, the A3 Plus group of the UN Security Council has called in New York for all Yemeni parties to take part constructively under the auspices of the United Nations to end the conflict and to ensure a successful political transition process. Somalia's permanent representative to the UN, Abubakar Dahir Osman, on behalf of the A3 Plus group, including Algeria, Somalia, Sierra Leone, plus Guyana, reaffirmed the group's commitment to the unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of Yemen.
A3 Plus attaches high importance to the work of the committee and overall efforts to hold accountable those individuals or entities that engage in or provide support for acts that threaten peace, security, and stability of Yemen. A3 Plus reaffirms its commitment to Yemen's unity, sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity. We urge all Yemeni parties to engage constructively under the auspices of United Nations to end the conflict and achieve a successful political transition based on the agreed terms of the reference. A3 Plus is deeply concerned by the ongoing detention of the UN personnel by the Houthis. Such actions are unacceptable and directly undermines the ability of the UN to carry out its vital mandate in Yemen. In this regard, A3 Plus calls for an immediate and unconditional release of all detained UN staff.
Now, the United Nations has announced that an integrated campaign of vaccination, nutritional monitoring and growth control of children in the Gaza Strip will be launched next Sunday for the benefit of 44,000 children of the besieged Palestinian enclave. The initiative aims to reach 44,000 children deprived of essential care since the beginning of the Zionist aggression. Now, the International Day of the Prevention of Environmental Exploitation in Times of War is celebrated today, Thursday, with the collective call for peace and sustainability, as the Gaza Strip has been subjected to genocidal Zionist attacks for more than 2 years, resulting in thousands of Palestinian people killed and unprecedented environmental damage, Said Bouazi reports.
Attacks by the occupying forces against the Palestinian enclave since October 2023 have caused unprecedented environmental damage, according to a new report by the United Nations Environment Programme UNEP on the environmental impact of the Zionist escalation, destroying soil, freshwater resources, and the coastline. The report warns that it could take decades to repair some of the damage, noting that much of Gaza's vegetation has been destroyed. According to the document, Gaza has lost 97% of its tree crops, 95% of its forest land, and 82% of its annual harvest since 2023, making large-scale food production impossible, while more than 500,000 Palestinians face starvation. The disappearance of vegetation cover and the pressure exerted by Zionist military operations have affected the structure of the soil and reduced its water retention capacity, thereby increasing the risk of runoff and flooding and limiting groundwater recharge. In this respect, UN officials have warned that the situation in Gaza is deteriorating and that its continuation will leave a legacy of environmental devastation that will affect the health and well-being of generations of the besieged population.
You're still listening to Radio Algeria International. This is the English service.